leaving the day job, heading to the airport. Just got back from vacation a couple days ago. Getting back from vacation kind of sucks. It generally means that stuff has piled up for me. Lots of stuff to do, either at the day job or at the brewery. And I spent the last 2 evenings really going hard at the brewery, and some other stuff that I had to do, just so I could try and find a day to fly tonight, because as I said, I've been on vacation and it's been a while, and I really want to get out flying. So we're gonna go do that, heading my way to the airport, and we'll talk to you in the air.
Number 27 Mike, runway 23, clear to land, wind 2306.
Here we go.
Clear to land, 2327 Mike.
Engine instruments good, airspeed's alive, coming up on rotation speed, and away we go. Positive rates. Gear up. Hit 90 miles an hour and flaps up. Feels good to be back in the air, that's for sure.
Mooney 6 Delta Romeo, traffic ahead and right, 1 o'clock and about 3 miles is an Archer, 2,000 feet, entering the pattern.
Alright, looking for him, 6 Delta Romeo.
Archer 5-2 Alpha, traffic 1 o'clock and 3 miles is a Mooney, going to be turning northwestbound out of 1-2000 climbing.
Alright, looking for traffic, 5-2 Alpha.
And 5-2 Alpha, I'm sorry, that's 1,300 feet.
Yeah, I believe I have the traffic inside 5-2 Alpha.
5-2 Alpha shouldn't be a factor, he's already northwest now.
Alright, well, while we're out here, we'll do a little bit of a brief recap on my vacation. Back when I was young, when people come back from vacations, they do these slideshows for family and friends, and usually it was like your goofy uncle would come back and give these slideshows, and go ahead and talk about what we did. So, just to give a little bit of background, for a long time, my wife and I always go out to the Great American Beer Festival in Denver, which is usually held around the last weekend of September, the first weekend of October every year. And while we're out there, lately what we've been doing is combining the trip out there with some trips out to national parks. So we've seen Rocky Mountain National Park, as well as the various national parks around Utah and Arizona. So we've really grown to love the national parks out here in Utah, especially like, Canyonlands and Capitol Reef and those. And, we've been going out there, doing a lot of hiking through the various canyons in those areas, and really liked it. And every time we'd come back, we'd post pictures online, and my mother would always be like, "Oh my God, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I would absolutely love to see that one day." So a couple of years ago, we decided that, well, since we're going out there anyway, and the hotels are taken care of, the rental cars taken care of, it'd be a pretty cheap Christmas present to just have my mom tag along with us, since the only expense would be airfare. And my mom always buys us some pretty big Christmas presents every year for the last while, and now we haven't been keeping up, so we kind of rolled it into one bigger Christmas present for her. So as we did that, we bought it for her almost 2 years ago for Christmas, or we buy it, we presented it to her, and we were all set to go last year during the Great American Beer Festival. But COVID canceled the Great American Beer Festival, as well as our trip last year, due to various, well, not so much restrictions. And this year came about, so we decided, well, we're going to do it for sure this year. And unfortunately, though, the Great American Beer Festival was canceled again this year, but we decided, since we already canceled it once, we're going to go out there and do it anyway. So we flew into Denver, which mostly because flights are so cheap into Denver, and it's really not that much farther drive to the national parks than Salt Lake City. So into Denver we went. We rented a car, started out in Moab, Utah. From Moab, Utah, we went to Arches National Park. Got there the first day in the afternoon, did a couple of the smaller arches out there, and then on the next day went out to see Delicate Arch, the hike up there. And the big thing is just see how my mom can handle that, because my mother is, she's not a spring chicken anymore. Neither am I, so I'm in my late 40s, so if that gives you any idea how old my mother is. And that was kind of it. My wife and I aren't the biggest. We like Arches, but we like other parks better, and the itinerary is kind of tight. So we left from there and spent the afternoon at the Island in the Sky district at Canyonlands. Saw all the various sites around there. It was awfully good fun. Stay one more night in Moab, left the next morning to go to some Bureau of Land Management area west of Canyonlands to a nice little place called Leprechaun Canyon, which is a cool little hike. You know, Holly and I, we aren't canyoneering experts or anything like that, but we can do the hike up into Leprechaun Canyon, which is absolutely gorgeous. If you ever wind up out in Utah, I would highly, highly recommend checking out Leprechaun Canyon. It's free, doesn't cost anything to do that. It is a little bit of a pain to find, but if you have a look-see on the internet, there are plenty of places that will show you how to get to Leprechaun Canyon, what you're looking for. So we did that, did the Leprechaun Canyon thing in the morning, left there, went to Capitol Reef National Park. Capitol Reef, by the way, is probably my second favorite of the national parks in Utah. There are a lot of cool things to do, but a lot of them are, pretty strenuous. They require a fair amount of hiking. It's not a ooh-ah national park where you drive your car up the site, step out, 3 feet from your car, take a couple pictures, ooh and ah, and get back in your car. The things at Capitol Reef require a fair amount of effort on your part to enjoy them. So if you're up for that, I would highly recommend it. So after Capitol Reef, went down to Bryce Canyon. That is a good ooh-ah park. Mother was feeling a little tired, so we didn't do any real hiking in Bryce Canyon, but we did all the various lookouts, walked the rim trail for a little bit to see the various cool points along the rim. Got the cool pictures at Inspiration Point. And then we headed off on our way to Zion for the afternoon. And we did a little bit of parts of the main canyon in Zion, just a few of the sites, did the ooh and ah thing. Walked the river walk up to the Narrows. Last time Holly and I went, we did the Narrows hike. It was really cool. Freezing cold, so you got to be prepared for it. I mean, freezing cold the water is, but we just kind of wanted to look around. They weren't really that interested in doing the Narrows hike this time. So we did that. The next day, we did one of the cool hikes in Kolob Canyon in Zion. There's a little area to the northwest of the main part of Zion called the Kolob Canyons. And there's a cool trail there called Taylor Creek. So we did a hike along Taylor Creek to the end point. It was called Double Arch Alcove, which is very beautiful. And it's a fun little hike. It's mostly through the woods, which is very interesting for that area, being mostly in the desert. After we got done with Taylor Creek hike, we had some more driving to do to go to Kanab, Utah. So we decided we would go to Kanab in the afternoon, spend some time at the hotel because the next day we had a lot of driving to do. So had a nice dinner in Kanab. Then after that, the next morning we woke up, we drove to Page, Arizona, so we could do the Upper Antelope Canyon tour. Last year we were in Page, we couldn't get a reservation for Upper Antelope Canyon, which is the more famous of the two Antelope Canyons. So we did Lower Antelope Canyon instead. So this time while we're there and had my mother with me, we decided to do Upper Antelope Canyon, which is awesome. I mean, you guys get out there, it's worth it. But the one thing my wife and I both agreed that we liked Lower Antelope Canyon better than Upper Antelope Canyon, even though Upper Antelope Canyon is the more famous of the two. We kind of thought the scenery in Lower Antelope Canyon was a little bit cooler. But after the tour, that was like first thing in the morning. We had our tour started at like 7:45 to 8 a.m. So maybe that was why too. I think our other one was started at like 10 a.m. So maybe the lighting was a little bit better on the one last year, but whatever. So after that, we took off, drove down to the south rim of the Grand Canyon, spent a few hours there at various lookout points over the Grand Canyon. It was quite cool. Last time we went there, we went to the north rim. This year down to the south rim. Mostly because it was actually shorter drive for us going back. We're going next off of the south rim. But that was good fun. We enjoyed it. My mother said one of her bucket list items was to see the Grand Canyon. So we did that, which was very nice. After that, we had to drive to Monticello or Monticello. I don't know. I've never figured out how the locals pronounce it. It's in Utah. It's south of Moab. It's really the next town to the south of Moab. That was because the last day was going to be in the Needles district of Canyonlands. But on the way to Monticello, we drove through Monument Valley, which was pretty cool. Haven't seen that one yet. So did the Monument Valley drive, got some cool pictures there, and then off up to Monticello for the final day, hiking through the Needles area Canyonlands. Now, for me, my favorite of all national parks I've ever been to is the Needles District of Canyonlands. But this one is like Capitol Reef, where it's not an ooh-ah park. It's anything cool you want to see requires a lot of effort, and I mean a lot of effort. I mean the real there are a lot of hikes and they're really long. I mean probably the shortest cool hike you're going to do is on the order of 10 miles, so it's going to be close to a 5-hour hike. And like that particular one, the cool stuff doesn't even start till like 2 miles into the hike. So we did the nice day in the Needles area of Canyonlands. Spent one last night in Monticello, and then started the long drive back to Denver, and then one night near the airport in Denver, and on the way back. Overall, it was a great vacation. Really enjoyed it. Nice to get away, but you know, one problem with vacation is it means you have just a ton of stuff to do when getting back. I spent the last 4 days just doing nothing but catching up on brewery work, and of course last 2 days during the day at my day job. But anyway, back to flying now. It's great. Probably just do a little bit more flying around here, enjoy myself, and then we'll head on back to Willow Run, land it, park the plane, and get ready for a long brew day tomorrow. Double batching it.
Yeah, we're Toyota 55 Alpha 1 for departure.
Toyota 55, Willow Run Tower, hold short runway 23, traffic on a 1 mile right base is Mooney.
Hold short 23, Toyota 55.
Mooney 6 Delta Romeo, make long landing please.
Alright, long landing, 6 Delta Romeo. So, he gave me a long landing because these two guys here are waiting for me, and they're blocking both the taxiways off of here. So I just turned it in right away and kind of dog-legging this final, try and make this happen as fast as possible. And I'm picking up my speed a little bit too, so I'm above final approach speed by at least 10 miles an hour. And we'll slow it down as we get a little bit further up the runway.
Diamond 518 Mike Alpha, Willow Run Tower, runway 23 at Golf, line up and wait.
Clear Golf on the way, Delta 1 Mike Alpha.
Alright, gears down.
Archer 52 Alpha, turn, crosswind.
Turn and crosswind 52 Alpha.
Approach going on, back to the approach speed. Do a little more power to try and land a little bit longer so I don't have to taxi down this thing, and here we go. Alright. There we go. That was beautiful.
Mooney 6 Delta Romeo, thanks for the help there. Turn left on Bravo, contact ground 1 off.
Left on Bravo, ground 1 off. Mooney 16 Delta Romeo. Taxi on the left side. It's a little smoother over here. Alright, well, it's great to be back in the plane, that's for sure, man. It's been almost 2 weeks, well, maybe 3 weeks even, hell. Anyway, it's been way too long, and I've been way too occupied with beating myself up at the 2 jobs recently, so nice to kind of put all that stuff away, get into the airplane, and get out. Hope you enjoyed the vacation recap. If not, sorry. Next time, I'm gonna go up north again this weekend. It's bow season, so I'm gonna go up and do that. I doubt it's gonna work out for flying. There's supposed to be thunderstorms on Friday, and fortunately I need to be up there Friday evening, so we will see. If not, got a few things planned coming up just short little flights. But anyway, that's it for today. Talk to you guys later.